Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another Sun Pirates TCG video. Today I'm joined with my co-host Colin Wong. I'm your host for the day, Mohammed Fatah. And today for you guys, we're going to be going over the Extra Booster card review, where we're going to cover important cards that you guys should be picking up at or close to release to prepare for the Extra Booster 1 and OPO7 formats. So to start off, we're going to be looking at the three leaders. Not much to say on them. Unfortunately, the leaders are not very fantastic in the Extra Booster.
They're bad.
They're all dual color 4 header leaders. They're all dual color 4 health leaders. None of their effects are really worth the sacrifice in life. Moving on, the first really important card you should be looking to pick up is Kid and Killer. So it's a 4-mana 5k with Rush, and on attack, if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, he gets plus 2,000 power during this turn. This card is phenomenal. It's pivotally important to the red purple law archetype, since it's a 4 cost that can cheat into play, and just it's a very strong late game finisher. Any 4-mana 7k rusher is going to be very strong in the late game.
Yeah, this might be really good in red green law too, because it's a supernova that you can play with the restanding 5-drop law, and it just
Right.
It also gains, like, it's not once per turn, and it gains the attack for the entire turn. So you go like swing for 7 without any Dawn, and then it becomes untapped and swings for 9k again.
Right, and that's not counting any Dawn you strap to it.
Yeah.
Pretty solid card. Probably is going to see play in most red decks going forward. Zoro, red purple law, even potentially Whitebeard. Moving on, we also have another card for the red purple law deck. This doesn't see play all the time in that deck, but still does see play semi-frequently, which is the Tony Chopper. He's a 3-mana 4k blocker, so you can cheat him into play off the leader ability, and he has on attack, giving an opponent's character minus 3k power if you have 2 Dawn strapped onto the Chopper. So he swings for 6, he shrinks something by 3, and then your leader can basically bomb deck a 6k instead of a 3k. Because of that, that's the main reason they play it. Also, because he's a 4k, you need to use a shrinker on him to be able to bomb deck him in that mirror match as well.
Yeah, card's good. I mean, it's just a blocker in general, but also can't have that Gordon or Race Max effects strapped onto it when you need it.
Yeah, and maintaining cards is very pivotal in that deck. Moving on for another upcoming deck, this one's for OPO7 this time, is Cavendish. He is a 5-mana 6k with 1k counter. And he has on play / when attacking. If your leader is a supernova and you don't have any other Cavendish in play, you untap 2 Dawn. So he's basically a 3-mana 6k, which is already a really strong stat line. But for the rest of the game, you just get 2 extra Dawn every turn. So he just lets you like tap out for your big plays and then still have that extra Dawn defensively, either for Punk Gibson, the Bonnie leader effect, even Paradise Waterfall. Just like a lot of options.
Yeah, definitely watch out for this card come OP7 with the Bonnie leader coming out. You can do some really powerful things with this. Like Muhammad was saying, you know, tapping out your 10 Dawn for like the Doflamingo 10 drop to stun 3 dudes, then swing with Cavendish to untap 2 Dawn. It's really powerful.
Yeah, leave that Dawn open for your leader and just get like an extra 6k swing in as well.
Yeah.
Another important card to pick up for OPO7 if you're looking to play the Yamato deck is Hiyori. Hiyori has activate main, trash this character, play a land of Wano that costs 5 or less besides Hiyori from your hand, then draw a card. So notably, in OPO7, we get a 1-mana Otama that's a searcher for green Land of Wano cards. So your Otama can find this. This can play your yellow Momonosuke from set 5, and it replaces itself, so you drew a card, and then your Momonosuke can put your Otama into your life. And that just like is a cycle that you can do with this. That's a very strong play for that deck.
I really, really want to play this card in Kinemon. Dude, like, just imagine, right? I mean, you go on Odd Curve with Kinemon, you go 3 Dawn, use the leader ability, play this out, and then tag out the Hiyori into a 5-drop. You can play, like, the Secret Ray Yamato on your 3 Dawn turn.
Start donking people real quick.
Yeah.
Sounds fire to me. Moving on, we have a card for the Uta deck. So Uta is from Star Deck 11, centered around the film cards. This is the second film 2k, I believe, that is now in existence. Sanji, he's a 4-mana 5k, 2k counter, and he has Dawn 1 during your turn. He gets plus 1,000 for every 3 of your rested Dawn. So he kind of lets you break the Dawn math by, like, you can still play your body and still get that extra power for him. but also he's just a 2K that you can get off your leader ability, and the less non-film cards that deck gets to play, the more consistently you'll be drawing an extra card every turn.
Yeah, definitely don't sleep on Green Uta coming up in EB1. Like, it's so subtle, but just having twice as many 2Ks to fetch off of your search abilities as opposed to before when it's only just like the single chopper, it's a huge difference. It lets you, it gives you a lot more agency in protecting your bodies in combat, while also just like in general having less whiffs in the deck. Because before you were playing like a bunch of other non-target 2Ks like your Mihawks, your Izos, right? So having this as like just 4 extra copies of a film target in your deck for your searches actually does make a big difference.
Absolutely. The deck was strong enough to win the Japanese National Championship last year. There's no reason to sleep on it, since this was part of the reason why I was able to do that. We also have a card to pick up for OP07. Just touching on this one, it's a 1 mana, 1K, 2K counter, Scratch Mana Apu. It's a new 2K Apu that just has on play rest of 2 or less. It's mostly just because he has a Supernova tag, and there's not much else to say about it. He's very pivotal to the Bonnie deck. He's just a stronger Supernova 2K. Moving on, we have a card that's going to bring back a bit of hype for a set 1 leader. It's Edward Weevil. He's a 4 mana 6K. He has on play draw 1 card. Funny enough, this card did help Blue Dawn Flamingo from set 1 to do a little bit better in the extra booster format. And it also does see some play in Boa Hancock and OP07 as just a mini value engine.
Yeah, definitely watch out for this card, both for Dofi and for Boa, especially coming OP7 when we get that Jinbei SR to play this for free.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just comboing a wide board and just cards that replace themselves are very strong right now. Moving on to a card that sees a little bit of play in the extra booster and more play in OP07 is Miss Wednesday. So this is a 3 mana 4K blocker that has on your opponent's attack Dawn -1. If your leader is a Baroque's Work, add a Dawn from your deck and set it as active. So really it just lets you cycle a rested Dawn for an active Dawn, but in tandem with the blue yellow, or my bad, not blue yellow, I'm sorry, the purple yellow
Lakers
Crocodile, you get an extra Dawn because he has whenever you Dawn -1 on your opponent's turn, get a Dawn. So really it's Dawn -1 to get 2 Dawn, so it's just like a ramp effect for you. The card's really strong for that deck. It helps it put up a little bit of a performance in OP07. The deck isn't insane, but it does just ramp into some top end, which gives it a little bit of a power boost. Also pivotal to that deck is Oh Come My Way. This is one way to translate this card.
I hate the translation. It's Okama.
It is Oh Come Away, or as it'll be seen in English, Oh Come My Way, and it's just 1 mana counter, Dawn -1. If your leader is a Baroque's Work, select one of your characters and change the attack target to that character instead. So really it's 1 mana counter for infinite counter if you have a body in play. So if you're ever representing a Dawn in the purple yellow Croc deck and the Lakers Croc deck, your opponent really can't just like full commit to just like sending 15 at your leader, because if you have this, you just blow them out of the water, right? You're just like, I change your attack target to my 1 mana searcher I have in play, and now you wasted your 10 mana turn, right?
Yeah, or even if you have like a big body on board, like your 8-drop Crocodile, coming OP07, your 10-drop Ace, you know, like a 9K and a 10K. Your opponent swings for like 8K. You're just like, oh, sorry, bro.
you're swinging at 10K now, right? So, and then since it's a Dawn -1 effect, you still get your Dawn back afterwards with your leader. And then the trigger's also solid, Dawn -1 to draw 2 cards. A card that draws 2 cards is pretty strong as well.
Yep.
Also, very important, probably the most important card from the extra booster is Bon Clay himself. With a very nice altar, he has on play, add up to 1 card from your Dawn deck, set it as active. He's a 4 mana 1K, but he also has on attack, select one of your opponent's characters, and this character's base power becomes the same as the selected character's power during this turn. So really notably, this can be cheated into play off of RP Law. It's a ramper to help that deck maintain its Dawn count, and it just can just like get really big for no reason. So like if you just ignore your opponent's Moria, for example, this 4-drop just swings back into your opponent for 9k. Just no Dawn committed. This card just like taxes a bunch of cards out of your opponent, and it's just like free value. It's really, really strong.
Yeah, it's so generic too. This is definitely a potential staple for purple leaders moving forward.
And it has 1k counter. This card has so many things going for it. The only thing it doesn't have going for it is it's not searchable because it's a former Baroque's work. It's nothing that really searches it right now, but it's just so strong. Moving on, for a card to expect to see play in OP07 is Spandine. He has on play, plays 3 cards that have the CP typing from your trash at the bottom of your deck. Play a character with the CP type and a cost of 4 or less other than himself rested. So he just like helps the Rob Lucci deck that's very centered around the Cypher Pole archetype to just like flood the board. You can notably play him off of Rebecca. He can play the Rob Lucci from OP05 to just like pop 2 bodies even after you like make a shrink play with your leader and with like a Helmeppo off of Moria. Just flooding the board is very, very strong in these formats, and he's just helps you get there. Also notably for black decks, even now, this will probably see some play in Sakazuki and potentially even Moria as well. As a 3-mana 4k Brook, he has on play / when attacking. Give one of your opponent's characters -1 cost, then KO cost 0 character. This card is very strong in the Sakazuki deck, Saka deck. He's very strong in the Sakazuki deck. You have a lot of ways of like playing him off of Rebecca in tandem with other shrinkers, in tandem with the leader, even with the stage build, to just like pop like a 5 cost, and then your opponent has to deal with this because if they don't, it's also an on attack. So you just like strap 1 Dawn to it, swing 5 at them, and then just like answer another thing, and just like it keeps adding up. Like even if you don't get the pop with it, just being a like free shrink -1 is just very, very strong.
Yeah, there's definitely like a lot of cool lines in this in Sakazuki with your Gecko Moria, right? You can go like something as simple as on 8 Dawn, Gecko into Rebecca, pick this up, play this card, and then the 2-drop off a Gecko can be like a Helmeppo. So you have 3 shrink from Helmeppo, 1 shrink from this, 1 shrink from your leader. You can kill a 5-drop for no reason. And then, unlike other targets that you play off of, like other quote-unquote shrinkers that you play off of the Moria Rebecca lines, aside from Hina, this is something with 1k counter and can still be an attacker. And it's also for free too. Like it kills a card for free, unlike something like Kobe where you have to discard. Yeah, this card's really flexible.
Right. That's like super notable, especially like as Colin was saying on the 8-mana play. Like with the Rebecca, you couldn't safely establish Rebecca off your Moria on 8 into bodies, but like now you can, because your Brook will just like both shrink something and pop something, and then like he also contests like your opponent's attacks, because if they ignore him, he's gonna do it again the next turn. So very, very strong card to look forward to. Another notable card, although a bit less so, is T-Bone. Mostly he's just a 5-cost Navy 2k. He's searchable. His name isn't Tashigi, so you can get him off Tashigi. And he has a better effect than Virgo. He has on play KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. He actually has text compared to the other 2k Virgo, who really you're not casting a Virgo, but you could cast a T-Bone and kill something realistically. And he can be grabbed off Rebecca. Not much more to say.
Yeah, I mean, like,
yellow cards.
It's free too.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, it is. It like has no cost.
Yeah.
Yellow cards. Viola, 2-mana 1k blocker, 0 power. On play, choose 1. You either look at your opponent's life and rearrange them in any order, so you can mess with like an NL or a Katakuri's life stack after they've rearranged it. If you saw them put a card to the bottom of their life, you could just move it to the top. Say it was like you're the one who's going to disappear. Or other effect, turn all of your life cards face down. Notably, this is more so for the new starter deck 13 leaders, the 3 brothers. You could just turn your life face down in the black-yellow Luffy deck and have actually gained back your 2 life, so that you can take 2 more damage again. The card doesn't see too much play, but it does have the potential to see play. That might just be a difference between the East and the West. Japan wasn't really on this card, but we might find something for it over here.
Watch out for coming OP08 too with the purple yellow pudding that flips up your life to ramp. So watch out for this. It could be good.
This card definitely has a lot of potential in the future. Moving on, we also have Charlotte Flampe. This is a 1 mana 2k counter with 1k power that just has on play, add a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand, draw a card. This card is very, very strong. Just any card that basically says draw 2 cards, like similar, like we've seen in Whitebeard, drawing a life isn't really a downside. It's always an upside. And this card just, for 1 mana, you draw a life and you draw a card, so it beyond replaces itself, and it also helps turn on the black yellow Luffy leader ability by just like letting you rip your life very quickly, and it replaces itself so you don't really feel like you're losing out on the fact that it's a 2k. This card is probably going to be a staple in yellow decks going forward, honestly.
Yeah.
Like any life manipulation is really strong in that color. We also have notably Shirahoshi. This sees play in NL in post extra booster and OPO7. It has, if it's KO'd by an effect specifically, you add a card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards, and it's a blocker. So if your opponents try to KO it so that they can like get to your life, you get health back. But if they don't KO it, it's a blocker and it saves you a life as well. So it's like, it like puts you between a rock and a hard place in theory. Not super strong in a Sakazuki heavy format, but after the leader's banned come OPO7, this card definitely sees more play in the NL archetype.
Yeah, this card, especially for NL specifically, its worst matchups are like the mono black decks like Gecko Moria and the new Rob Lucci leader coming OP7, right? But this card's like very good against the mono black leaders because they literally have no way around this card aside from it just blocking. So this is like a guaranteed block versus the black leaders. Like
it either blocks or it gives you a life, and you don't really want to give the NL leader extra life. So this card is very, very strong coming up in the post like 07 format and even a little bit in the EB1 format if you don't play against Sakazuki specifically. Finally, just to touch on these a little bit, Kingdom Come and Did Someone Say Kami? Kingdom Come is a 6 mana event intended for NL where you KO any character, then you have to trash your life cards until you only have 1 life left. Did You Say Kami? You play an NL with a cost of 7 or less from your hand or trash, then trash cards from your life until you have 1 life card. These are both intended for NL where he's trying to like be at or around 1 life and then just like go up and down from there. Notably, these cards do give NL a boost in Extra Booster 1. But funny enough, they do stop seeing play in OPO7 after they get Secret Rare Ace. So, yeah. Fortunately, these are just a common and a rare, so if you want to play an L in Extra Booster, they're not going to cost you too much, but do note that they're not going to stick around for too long. So, anyways, guys, those are the main cards that we think you should be picking up and looking out for in the upcoming EB01 and OPO7 formats. We'll definitely be doing an OPO7 set review for those upcoming cards that you'll need to be watching out for as we get closer to that set. But other than that, thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the notification bell. If you stayed to the end, be sure to tell us who's more dripped out today. I don't think it's me, but
I don't think it's me either.
Who knows?
I think it's Enel like laying down on the on his couch. But yeah,
if it's Enel, leave a comment saying Enel best boy. Other than that, take it easy.
See you guys.